FA Cup 4th round offering, and we're from St Mary's today as Southampton take on Arsenal for a place in the 5th round of the FA Cup with Emirates. We'll give you the two teams shortly. Danny Welbeck does start, 10 changes in all for both sides, and I'll give you the full lineups in just a second or two. Arsene Wenger, of course, starting a 4-match touchline ban for what happened at the Emirates last week. He's up there in the stands at St Mary's, and when the Saints go marching in is the song you can hear in the background. Southampton already in the final of the League Cup. Get us underway in the striped shirts, and we'll attack the goal to our left in this first half. Arsenal in their change shirts are all yellow with dark sleeves, and they're going to go to the right hand side. So we've got changes afoot obviously for this game. Let's give you the Southampton team first. Lewis is in goal, then it's Martina, Gardos, Stevens, Bequeen, Højbjerg, Reed, Jordi Classy, Josh Shims. Shane Long had got the winning goal at Anfield on Wednesday night, and Lloyd Isgrove. The substitutes bench, quite a strong bench. Yoshida, Davis, Tadic, Romeo, Bertrand, Redmond and Taylor. Arsenal line up with David Ospina in goals. You're missing nothing, by the way. Still 0-0 with a minute gone. Hector Bellerin, Mustafi, who scored against Burnley last week. Holding and Gibbs are the defence. Maitland-Niles, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Walcott, Adelaide, Perez and Welbeck complete the Arsenal lineup today. And the substitutes: Mertesacker, Gabriel, Sanchez, Iwobi, Monreal, Jenkinson and Martinez. The referee today for this game, Kevin Friend, and he hails from Leicestershire. And what an atmosphere it is at St Mary's. This is our second FA Cup offering of the season. The last one we featured another North London club, Tottenham, and they beat Villa in the last round. We've had some shocks on today. Lincoln City beat Brighton and Hove Albion, who were the championship leaders, 3-1. That was one of the big shocks. Liverpool are out, beaten 2-1 earlier today at lunchtime by Wolves. Wolverhampton Wanderers now through to the next round. Wickham, heartbreak for them at the death against Spurs, and they were 2-0 up and 3-2 up at one point this afternoon, and Yobia wins a free kick. Stevens had it now on the far side for Southampton. First cross in there towards Shane Long, who was right in there, and Koscielny or Mustafi Rawa got back there. It might have been holding. Shane Long has hurt himself and he's hobbling by that near post. Here come Arsenal now on the break. Bellerin now to Oxlade-Chamberlain. Oxlade-Chamberlain knocking it back across. Chance here. And well blocked. It was Adelaide coming in on the through the centre, and his shot was blocked. There's a good start to this game. It's got all the hallmarks actually of being a good game here. They have met in a cup competition before in the League Cup. Southampton winning that one, the quarterfinals of the League Cup, and Oxlade-Chamberlain will take this corner. Of course, him and Walcott, former Southampton players, as that corner came in, and that will go. Will be kept in play, in fact. And that'll be a corner for Arsenal. Tackle coming in from Gardos. And you're more than welcome, listeners, to comment on the game. Keep your comments clean and keep them. Yes, if you can keep the comments clean, that would be fantastic. And it would be that would be marvellous from our point of view. Corner came to nothing. Danny Welbeck now in from the start. Here's a chance for Arsenal, the back post, and a nice little cross there, across the face of the goal. and behind for the goal kick. Adelaide playing the ball in. Welbeck was coming in at the back post, but was never going to get there. Decent Arsenal move. Southampton now keeping the ball quite well themselves. They move through the centre of the field. And Højbjerg now, former Bayern Munich man, lifts a crossing from the right hand side, but it goes again into no man's land, and it'll be a goal kick to Arsenal. But a good start to this cup tie, coming up towards 5 minutes gone, and no score. And it's obviously big. It's obviously a big game this for both sides. As I say, you're quite welcome to comment on the game. As I say, keep your comments clean, and we'll read them out on air for you this evening. At the moment, Arsenal and Southampton having a nice little battle here. As Bellerin comes forward, pacey right back, offside given against Theo Walcott. Him and Oxlade-Chamberlain, former Southampton players, of course. Southampton have got one Wembley date, 26th of February, where they play Manchester United in the League Cup final, which coincidentally is also my birthday. So let's just keep you up to date what happened last night. Derby and Leicester played at a thrilling 2-2 draw at Pride Park, and at lunchtime Liverpool lost 2-1 to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Stearman with one of the goals there. Blackburn 2, Blackpool 0. The Clarets, my beloved Burnley, through 2-0, very comfortable winners against Bristol City. So too were Chelsea, 4-0 against Brentford. So too were Man City, 3-0 at Crystal Palace. Lincoln with one of the shocks of the round, 3-1 winners over Championship Brighton. Accrington just losing out to Middlesbrough 1-0. Oxford going through against Newcastle, that was another turn up. Rochdale 0, Huddersfield 4. And poor little Wickham, so close to not just having a replay from that match at White Hart Lane, but actually beating Tottenham. They were 3-2 up with 2 minutes to play there, and 2 late goals from Tottenham, from Dele Alli, and then Son with his second goal really killed off any potential upset. And it was so hard on Wickham, who were at least worthy of a replay at Adams Park. And here's Gibbs now breaking forward for Arsenal. Here's a chance now for Adelaide to lean into the path of Oxlade-Chamberlain, who shoots right-footed just wide from about 25 yards out, just to the right of the Southampton D. Good run this from Adelaide. He's had plenty of the ball, the young Arsenal man. And there was his shot just wide of the target. Arsenal, who are back in Champions League action, of course, next month. Here's Lewis, number 41, getting his chance tonight. Fraser Forster not in the match day squad for this one. Claude Burrell deciding that it's a chance here for some of the fringe players to get a game. Still plenty of big names out there. Mind you, most of them are amongst the 2 substitutes benches. Steve Bold is looking after things on the line. Long ball in from the left hand side, looking for Shane Long. He's a dangerous customer, Shane Long, inside that 6-yard area, and the likes of Mustafi and Holding will have to really go some here to really keep them at bay. Still 0-0. And Challengers really flying in there. But at the moment, I think the first goal's going to be also important in this game, I suppose, folks, because both teams like to attack. They've got at each other hammer and tongs in this opening this opening sort of 7 or 8 minutes or so. And Per Mertesacker is obviously back after injury. There he is. Hasn't played since April, Per Mertesacker, which is it's good for Wenger to have a player of his undoubted quality back. And now Walcott takes possession. And still 0-0. You haven't missed anything. With 10 minutes gone, there's still no change in the scores. It's very difficult for me actually to try and divine these two sides because it's they're much changed. So still no goals. But as I say, you've missed absolutely nothing at all. And it does have the hallmarks of being a classic game here. Ethiopia gets a long ball forward to down the left hand side, but it's out of the play for a goal kick. 10.5 minutes gone. Southampton 0, Arsenal 0. Claude Puel, who's done a tremendous job at Southampton. I know they haven't had the best of runs in the league. They had a bad defeat at Turf Moor the other week when Joey Barton scored that magnificent free kick that gave Burnley that victory there at Turf Moor. And it's a poor kick really from David Ospina. Still 0-0. So let's just confirm the scores. Liverpool 1, Wolves 2, Lincoln 3, Brighton 1, Burnley through 2-0 against Bristol City, Chelsea 4, Brentford 0, Palace 0, City 3, Man City that is, Blackburn 2, Blackpool 0, Middlesbrough 1, Accrington 0, Oxford 3, Southampton, Newcastle 0, Rochdale 0, Huddersfield 4, and Spurs 4, Wycombe 3. They were all the games that have taken place this evening, but yet we've yet to see a goal in this particular fourth round clash. It's a goal kick to Southampton. You're missing absolutely nothing at all. It's been a cagey start, but there's plenty of quality, as I say, amongst the substitutes here. I think we've had all the excitement earlier on today. Lincoln going through, Wolves going through at Liverpool. And we had an exciting game at the iPro Stadium last night when Derby and Leicester played out an entertaining 2-2 draw. Adelaide has had plenty of the ball so far. And now Arsenal have it in the centre circle. Ball out to Bellerin. Pacey right back. Low crossing towards the 6-yard area. And too close to the goalkeeper, who takes it no problem at all. And again, good bright move. Bellerin timing his run well down the near side. Getting the ball superbly. Just lacked the accuracy with the cross. But he's a lightning fast player, Bellerin. We've seen that for a long time. As Chamberlain gets the ball inside the centre circle, lifts the ball in. Again, patient build up from Arsenal here at St Mary's. Remember, nothing will be settled today. If it ends a draw, we won't have extra time. It will go to a replay 10 days, a week and a half, and a week and a half's time, either Tuesday or Wednesday night. And there's 4 more fourth round games to come tomorrow. Millwall against Watford, Fulham versus Hull, Sutton United against Leeds United. That should be some game there down at Gander Green Lane. And then the holders, Manchester United, taking on the 2013 winners, Wigan Athletic. So plenty still to come this weekend. And then the fifth round draw is on Monday night. There's a chance here inside the penalty area, and it's gone into the back of the net from Danny Welbeck, and Arsenal take the lead after just 15 minutes. And that'll give Danny Welbeck a bit of confidence. That's his first goal back in the Arsenal side since that long-term injury. Arsene Wenger looks on, but Arsenal in front in this fourth round FA Cup tie after just 14 and a half minutes. Danny Welbeck the scorer, and it was a lovely move really. Lovely boy to his path, timed his run beautifully there, Welbeck, and he flicks it wide of the goalkeeper, or flips it over the goalkeeper here. Lovely little dink there, sets him up, and then with his with the right foot, just toe pokes it beyond the goalkeeper's grasp here. Lewis has got no chance from then on in, and then in off the underside of the crossbar, and just a clap and a standing ovation from Arsene Wenger. A nice little dance there from Danny Welbeck. That puts Arsenal into the lead. Danny Welbeck, who's scored crucial goals in the FA Cup before, most notably 2 years ago in the quarterfinals at Old Trafford when he got the winning goal against his former team, Manchester United. So Southampton, who are already in one final, if they're going to have any designs of reaching the FA Cup final, they're going to have to come from behind to try and beat Arsenal. This was an important moment for Southampton, really, important moment really for Arsenal to silence the crowd here at St Mary's, and they've done just that. All you can hear in the background at the moment is Arsenal fans at St Mary's. They have a throw, mind you, Southampton. You could do with a little bit of fortune here, Southampton. So as I said, there's plenty of talent on that bench. There's no Ozil in the Arsenal matchday squad. Southampton won a free kick on halfway, but they're not getting it, and Chamberlain now runs forward for Arsenal. 4 up ahead of him if he chooses. Tries to play it in towards Welbeck, and does so. Welbeck gets it out, and Arsenal just keeping possession now with Chamberlain. Gets it back again. Chamberlain has got Adelaide to his right, and here's Adelaide now, midway inside the Southampton half, and gets the ball back once again from Bellerin. Adelaide's had quite a lot of bit of the ball so far as possession is concerned. So we're coming up towards 18 minutes gone here at St Mary's, 4th round FA Cup, and the JB Claret YouTube channel, our second cup tie this season. Our last live cup tie ended in a late 2-goal show for Spurs, who today have just got through in a real thriller at White Hart Lane, and you've got to feel sorry for poor Wycombe Wanderers, who led 2-0 and 3-2 at that point. Match stats, possession, Arsenal predictably having more of the possession. Southampton have had 44% of possession, and Arsenal 56%. As Oxlade-Chamberlain, former Southampton player, looking to try and haunt his former employers. So far, it's been a frustrating time for Arsenal. That's a foul. Referee friend across. Well, it is Grove, the offender there, halfway inside the Arsenal half, with the challenge here on holding. Nothing more than just a 3 kick against him. No yellow card, no bookings necessary. First offence. Kevin Friend letting his Grove off the up with just a 3 kick. Coming up to 19 minutes gone. Southampton 0, Arsenal 1. Danny Welbeck 15 minutes on the clock when he played it in as holding. Tries to get Welbeck in behind once again. There is Welbeck. He finished it with some aplomb. I have criticised him in the past. This was a lovely little move, this, in the first place, and then just stabs it there with his right foot. And it finds the far corner of the net. Lewis did well to narrow the angle, but Welbeck, it was an accurate finish. Needed the help of the crossbar, as I say, but it was a remarkable finish by the England international. And Danny Welbeck's goal now has really put Southampton's backs up against the wall. Back pass then, and Walcott was almost in there. Gardos got back and in the nick of time and stopped Walcott there from almost scoring against his old club. Of course, Chamberlain and Walcott were products of that famous academy at Southampton many moons ago when Southampton was struggling to stay in the Championship a few years ago. When you look at the players they produced here down on the south coast, you've got not just them two that are on action, of course Gareth Bale, who has gone on to great things with Real Madrid, and obviously that semi-final running the Euros with Wales last year in the European Championships. They have a very rich history of bringing through top talent at St Mary's. And they've seen the proofs of their labours potentially here on view tonight. Here's one of them. Lewis, the goalkeeper, had little or no chance with the opening goal. Scored, of course, here by Danny Welbeck. Coming up towards the halfway mark, in fact, now with the first half. 21 minutes completed, almost. And David Ospina hasn't had a touch of the ball until now, and he's kicked long up towards the halfway line, just under the right of the centre circle. Now the ball's in field. Bellerin has it now, right hand side. Looks like one ball looking for Danny Welbeck, and Welbeck has reached it. It's Danny Welbeck for Arsenal, and he's put it in again, and Arsenal go 2 goals clear, 2 for Arsenal, 2 for Welbeck. And at the moment it's embarrassingly easy for the Gunners. Southampton ripped apart by a long ball from Hector Bellerin from the right hand side. He found Danny Welbeck, controlled it superbly, turned, and when Lewis came to advance him, he found the right hand corner of the net, and in it went for 2-0 to Arsenal. Just takes it down beautifully with his right foot and then gets it onto the left foot, and that's a cool finish beyond Lewis and beyond the defender. And Southampton now have a massive mountain to climb here at St Mary's. Southampton 0, Arsenal 2. And that was a remarkable finish, really, by a man who's been out for so long through injury, but he's come back with 2 goals in 22 minutes. Should have scored on his return at Preston in the last round. And Shane Long has now committed a foul on Chamberlain. 3 kick to Arsenal, but it's the long ball forward, and it's a lovely ball forward. In fact, it was Chamberlain who supplied the ball, but that was a lovely finish there by Danny Welbeck. I suppose it's good news for England, even though I'm not Danny Welbeck's biggest fan, but even so, you have to concede. There have been 2 finishes of pure genius. This is coming from me, who's not Danny Welbeck's biggest fan. But take nothing away from those finishes. As now Isgrove tries to get something going for Southampton. Long on the chase. He'll get there ahead of Ospina, who's way out of his ground. Back to Isgrove now. Goalkeeper out of his ground, and Southampton have a chance here. Chance at the back post, over the bar. That was the chance then. And David Ospina can thank someone up in the heavens, because if that had been on target, that was 2-1 to Southampton. I think it was Oisbier who had the final shot, but Shane Long did really well. And Arsenal, well, to be fair, they had 3 men back, but even so, David Ospina, what was he doing? His team 2-0 up and in control, and well, if Oisbier has kept that one down, Southampton would have been back in this cup tie. As it is, Arsenal still comfortably 2 goals clear, but that would have made the game a little bit more interesting. Now, if we're looking for shocks, we're not getting any here at St Mary's. And that's Sod's Law when all the other shocks have come elsewhere today. And I like the last round between Spurs and Aston Villa. It's going completely to form. And maybe I put the kiss of death in mine and Meg Claret's predictions last night or earlier today. If you haven't seen our Let's Talk Football programme, you can watch that on Meg Claret's channel after this commentary, of course. As Arsenal now come striding forward again, trying to let Bellerin in behind there down the right hand side, but again this time Southampton were very coy defensively, but their defence has been let down a couple of times. So a long ball forward up towards Shane Long. He's got his Grove in the middle. Long with the shot, turned away by Ospina. That's better from Southampton. And Shane Long, looking to his menacing best, scored the winning goal on Wednesday night in that League Cup semi-final. Lovely ball forward here, down the left-hand side. Stevens playing it in, and a big opportunity then. Gonna begging. Welbeck, in fact, making his first start in this thing since May. So it's a corner. Southampton to take it. The strike shot's gliding forward, low corner into the penalty area, and then it's hooked wide of the goal. Oh, Claude Perel, who was absolutely delighted when his team won at Anfield on Wednesday night. Well, it's not looking to be exactly the same tonight, I'm afraid. And we'll all be back tomorrow afternoon with a real proper cup tie. Sutton United against Leeds, and I'll be coming live from Gander Green Lane, scene of many cup upsets over the years. 1989 most notably, when Sutton beat then top flight Coventry City. Tony Raines and Matthew Hanlon with the famous goals for Sutton on that glorious day. And we'll have to see how that one pans out. Leeds United were no strangers to cup up, being on the receiving end of cup shocks themselves. 71 when they lost to Colchester, 2009 when they lost to Histon as a third tier team in those days. They're doing well in the Championship. Fourth in the Championship because Reading went above them. Reading had a good win in the Championship earlier on today. But at the moment, it's going to form this cup tie. We've got one league team already safely through to round 5. That's Lincoln City, of course. Welbeck has done really well. Now Bellerin has it on the near side. Bellerin just knocks it in field. And Arsenal just moving the ball around at well, just toying with Southampton. A nice ball down towards Bellerin on the right hand side. Cross in first time and then hooked away. And it will be a throw, level with the penalty area for Arsenal, who are 2 goals clear and seemingly coasting. And they've got a free kick. Just watch that again. That's an utter farce of a free kick, really, to give away. Perez, the man, tripped there. Well, now. Big ball in there towards the back post. Mustafi was there too at the near, and there was another man at the far. Here was the free kick again. And it was Mustafi with a header right in on the edge of the 6-yard box, and that should have been a goal, really. Should have been 3 there. Mustafi, who scored beautifully against Burnley last week. A nice accurate header that kept Arsenal the lead in that game, which ended in a rather controversial manner last week Myself and Mike Claret have very strong words still on that, as you'll see on our Let's Talk Football programme. As the long ball forward, looking for Welbeck, but Lewis is quickly off his line to gather the ball in. No trouble at all. So it's been, I'm afraid it's been a game that's lacked a bit of excitement and a bit of fizz, and at the moment we've had shocks elsewhere, but in our match we've had no shocks whatsoever in this game, and which is a shame really, but there you go. As Arsenal now try to go around the far side, but it's hooked away again. So Harry Lewis, the goalkeeper, Ashley Mottram has messaged in. First message of the evening, Ashley. I know it's a change Southampton team, but they're showing too much respect for Arsenal. Well, I have to say they've shown too much respect for Arsenal, really. But they might just have a chance here now at the other end here, down the right-hand side. If they can hook a ball into the penalty area, get the ball on it for Shane Long, they've got every chance of getting back into this cup tie. But unfortunately, the ball's gone dead, and it's a throw to Arsenal midway time and a half. And Matt Claret, he's on. Good evening, Chris, my partner in crime every week on Let's Talk Football. He's on with me tonight again. That second goal for Welbeck was absolute class. Well, you can't argue with that finish, I suppose. I'm not his biggest fan, but I have to say the two goals he's taken have been absolutely superb, and he's at the end of the day he's proven the difference. Here's Longdale picking it up. Now a chance here for Josh Sims, edge of the area. Sims has the shot, charged down by the Arsenal defence. Then Isgrove is in there. Long is there too. Sure, he was stripped from behind. The referee friend is given the decision, and quite rightly so. He was within a 5-yard radius, and surely the Arsenal defence weren't going to get away with that. Kieran gives a clumsy challenge from behind there on the Southampton captain. Mike Claret replies, it was more the first touch that was good. Well, the first touch was excellent, but the finish was still cute as well. But Southampton here have a chance from a set play, and both captains there involved. Gibbs on Long, free kick. Ospina building the wall. It's just to the right of the D, a good 20 yards from goal. Wembley's got a very good set piece repertoire. Martina wanted a piece of it as well. Certainly might be McQueenie's the other option, I think. Let's have a look. There's the right footer, and it's into the side netting. And it's Højbjerg with the free kick, and it wasn't particularly. It was a good free kick, but just lacked the accuracy. Just goes wide of. Or just wide of David Ospina's post, and it will be a goal kick to Arsenal. And that would have put some excitement back into this FA Cup fourth round. All the excitement has come round. You're on in today. Wolves are through 2-1 against Liverpool. If you've only just joined us, Liverpool now out of all the cup competitions. Only the league to play for now. A promising season for Liverpool is turning into an absolute nightmare. 3 home defeats inside a week. With Chelsea to come on Tuesday night. It's not looking very good for Liverpool at this precise moment in time. And then Little Wickham leading twice against Spurs, but before a heartbreaking late winner from Son broke their hearts. But we have a non-leaguer in the last 16. As Southampton come forward now, looking to try and get back into this game down the right-hand side. It's stuffed out by Arsenal here, who can break out. We'll discuss Lincoln in just a second or two. 33 minutes gone. 2-0 to Arsenal. Welbeck coming forward again for Arsenal. Back in field it goes. And Arsenal just happy to knock the ball back. Whilst they're doing that, I can just give a mention again to Lincoln City. Well, they saw fit switching in dramatic style in the replay in the third round, and they certainly did the same to Brighton and Hove Albion, the championship leaders, who led, and then a penalty which was, and then obviously and then a silly own goal for Brighton's point of view, and then the late goal sealed Lincoln City. And the Cowley brothers are potential fifth round opponents. The Clarets of Burnley, of course, through 2-0, comfortable victory over Bristol City. That's 9 defeats in a row for Bristol City, as Chamberlain tries to get in behind, but again this time good defending from Southampton. So problems there for Lee Johnson. And it seemed to be a good season at one stage for Bristol City. They were being talked about as playoff contenders, but they're now 2 places off that championship drop zone. And of course Blackburn and Blackpool, plenty of protests up at Eagwood Park today, but oh dear me, that's a long attempted clearance hit at another Southampton player. And here's Perez back to Welbeck. Is this going to be the hat-trick? Walcott will stab it in, and it was a comedy of errors from Southampton really, and it's cost them dear this time. An attempted clearance came back off the Southampton man. It fell for Welbeck on the left hand side. He got to the byline, cut the ball back, and in came Phil Walcott to inflict massive misery on his former club. And it looking like a one-horse race, I'm afraid, in our commentary match in the FA Cup tonight. Southampton 0, Arsenal 3. And you can't argue with that scoreline. Just shocking from Southampton. Horrible defending. And, well, we still got another 10 minutes of this first half to go. And Claude Puel, you have to say, I don't know if any of you guys listening to my commentary can watch this on TV, but he's got a face like thunder there, Puel. I don't think he can. I'll tell you what, if I was a teacup in that Southampton dressing room now, I would be fearing for my life right now, because there's going to be a few teacups smashed in that Southampton dressing room, I can tell you, because there will be wholesale changes. And also Wenger serving a touchline man. Myself and Matt Clark thought this would be a much closer game, but Southampton have absolutely done our predictions a real disservice tonight, because they have a corner, however, but their performance in this cup tie tonight has been nothing short of dour and diabolical. Well, they need something now. Here's Isgrove with his corner, far side, in towards the 6-yard box. It'll break here, shot coming in, deflected, or was it scuffed? I think it was scuffed wide. Well, I think when you make 10 changes for a fixture of this magnitude, it was Jordi Classy with the shot from outside the penalty area, just outside the penalty box. And well, we were both, I think myself and you, Chris, we were both expecting a much more of a stronger team. They're already in the final of one competition. You'd have thought when Arsenal at half time, or Arsenal went down at their ground. I'm even losing the will to slur my words here. It's been a long day, a long couple of weeks for me personally, but it's just been so easy for Arsenal. Man against boys, really, you have to say. And it may just be the second half. It's all about damage limitations, as Mustafi Cooley heads it back to his goalkeeper. Ospina has had, I don't think he, from memory, has had an actual shot to save in the game. But it's been that sort of a match, really. Here's Bellerin for Arsenal. 4th round of the FA Cup, sponsored, of course, by Emirates. That's the airline, not the country. And it's 3-0 to Arsenal, who won this competition in 2014 and 2015. Beat Aston Villa 4-0 in the final, and then the year before beat Hull City in a real thriller at Wembley, having been 2-0 down at one stage in that particular final. Probably one of the best FA Cup finals we saw for quite a long time in 2014. One of the best open games I think I've seen. Well, Steve Bold, he'll sit there, a very comfortable man, 3-0 up his team. And Arsene Wenger understands he'll be sitting a lot comfortable up in that director's box. Of course, he's serving a 4-game touchline ban for his silly antics at the Emirates last Sunday. Coming up towards 5 minutes to half time, and it's been a dominant Arsenal display. We gave Arsenal the criticism on Let's Talk Football, certainly the supporters, but I don't think even the Arsenal fans can moan and groan at this display. They've been, I have to say, the Arsenal team have been real class, certainly in the final third, and that's where, well, both teams, well, when you're Arsene Wenger, you can afford to make 10 changes with the players he's got, but really Southampton have made it too easy there, and then the youngsters are really getting taught a real footballing lesson as Josh Shims tries to break down the halfway line. Isgrove wins the possession, and he was bundled over, but the referees played a good advantage, and Højbjerg now has got Long in the centre, and that was towards Shea Long, but there was the goalkeeper. Good goalkeeper there for Ospina, and he's hurt himself, holding his head there, getting a bird from the Southampton supporters because they think he's making a meal of it. Good cross from Højbjerg. Long is a very physical sort of character, right on the penalty spot area, but there was no doubt about it. Ospina topped the ball cleanly and was hurt there in the collision with big Shane Long. Matt Corrett has responded by saying Ox in the central defensive midfield position was a bit of an odd choice, but it looks as if it's worked. Well, it's worked a treat, Chris. It's 3-0 to Arsenal, and we're coming up towards 41 minutes of play here. Just looking at the Arsenal bench, doesn't get any easier. We got Alexis Sanchez there. Martinez is the reserve goalkeeper tonight. He has played in the League Cup games, played in the defeat to Southampton in the quarter-finals of that particular competition. And whilst we have a breaking play, just to remind you of 2 more commentaries that are going to be coming your way on this YouTube channel in the next 4 days. Tomorrow afternoon we've got Sutton United against Leeds United in the third round of the FA Cup. That's our second commentary of the evening. Don't forget to join us for that one. And then on Tuesday night it's Burnley versus Leicester in the Premier League, plus updates of all the other Premier League games that featured that night, including, of course, Chelsea's trip to Liverpool, updates from that game, and all the other games that are taking place that night. We'll be on air from around about 7:30 on Tuesday evening. Of course, it's also the same night as deadline day, and before the kick-off that night, we will keep you updated of any transfer activities, certainly from the top end of the market, the Premier League in Europe, anything that's gone before. But once the game kicks off, it's all about the football. At the moment, we're concentrating on the FA Cup. It's all about that now for the next day and a half. Of course, on Monday night, hopefully this time we'll bring you full coverage of the 5th round draw in full. Burnley are in that draw, having beaten Bristol City 2-0. We'll remind you of the other fixtures once we get a breaking play that take place tomorrow. There are 4 more ties tomorrow as Classic comes forward for Southampton, as Reed now gets it out to the far side. Now Stevens, right hand side for Southampton, looks to try and work something back inside to Reed, and Classy now playing it forward. They're just keeping possession a little bit better now, Southampton, but it's a real shame that it's come at 3-0 down in the last couple of minutes of what's been a real torrid first half for them. They've kept possession rather well, I have to say that, right inside the penalty area by the byline, and Isgrove just couldn't thread it through. He has won the ball back, and that's more like it from Southampton, but as I say, it's just taken them a little bit too much time to really get into the feel of the game. But they're getting the crowd on their side now a little bit now, which is an encouraging sign. As Stevens now, far side, cuts infield, tries to... I thought he might have had the cross, but Reed has possession again for Southampton. Now Garius plays it out to the near side. This is better from Southampton. passing the ball around with a great deal of freedom, but they're 3-0 down, and if they are going to go through outright tonight, they have to score 4 times if they want to take it to a replay at the Emirates in 10 days of time. They have to score 3. Obviously Arsenal, providing Arsenal don't score themselves. And of course there's the substitutions to take into account in the second half. And we've seen cup ties that have been won. Mind you, Southampton 1 year against Tranmere looked as if they had a replay at Prenton Park, or 1 at half time. They were 3-0 down or 3-0 up, and Tranmere had a shocking first 45 minutes, and then look what happened in that game at Prenton Park. Paul Rideout getting the winner that night in one of the most crazy games of FA Cup football I have ever seen. Of course there was that Man City Spurs one in 2004 as well, when Spurs looked to have had it wrapped up, and then John Macken came to City's rescue and won an remarkable game 4-3 at White Hart Lane. So we've seen some crazy cup tie football over the years. It's all about the next goal. There's going to be 2 added minutes. You're missing absolutely nothing. It's just passing and passing and passing. It's just been a real low-key end to what's been a torrid first half for Southampton. A great one there for Arsenal. 2 goals for Danny Welbeck after 15 and 22 minutes. And then, of course, on the 36th minute, Walcott against his old club, adding a third after a defensive house of horrors, shall we say, for Southampton. And they have been all over the shop at the back. But let's take nothing away from the 3 goals that Arsenal scored. Goals of real genius. Finishes of real genius, I have to say. Danny Welbeck, who I'm a self-confessed hate. Well, not hater as such, but I've never thought about him as a striker. But he's made. I think the Southampton defence have made him look a bit world class. But they've got a chance here now. Reid to Classy. Classy trying to lay it back into the path of Reid. Now then, Southampton now, can they finish the first half with a flourish and just get themselves a goal which might just get them back into the game? Stevens has shook off his man well. Still a chance there. Oh, he just came away. Oh, what an opportunity for Sims inside the penalty area, and his first touch badly let him down, and that's probably been the difference. Martina nicked the ball off Gibbs, played a lovely ball back, and Josh Sims, that first touch was too heavy. The idea was there. I think he was trying to get it onto his left foot, I think, inside the area. I think if his first touch had been a little bit more coyer, and he would have got it onto that left foot beautifully, but his touch was just too heavy. Here they come, Southampton, now trying to get themselves a goal back, but that's going to run out of play. We've almost played 2 minutes now. We'll take a 5-minute break, and then after that break we'll bring you up to date with all the FA Cup action that's happened already here this afternoon, happened today, and scorers as well. As Ospina grabs the ball, and there we are. The interval has arrived, and if I was a Southampton teacup at half time, I'd be bracing myself, because there's bound to be a few thrown in that dressing room at half time. 2 goals though for Danny Welbeck has put Arsenal well in control. A third from Theo Walcott. Welbeck's goals coming after a quarter of an hour and 22 minutes, and of course Walcott's 10 minutes from half time has put Arsenal very much in control of this 4th round FA Cup here at St Mary's. And Southampton, in contrast, have offered very little. Long has worked hard without any reward. He hasn't had much support really from his midfielders, and really it's been a really disappointing first 45 minutes for Southampton. So we're going to take a 5-minute break here at St Mary's, and after that break, as I say, we'll bring you all the news from the FA Cup that's already taken place earlier this afternoon. There's been some real shockers, of course, in this competition, and then the whole second half live from St Mary's. But it's looking very, very bleak for Southampton unless they pull off a real cup miracle. It could happen, but then again, in all likelihood, the way Arsenal are playing, it might just be wishful thinking. But we're going to leave you for 5 minutes. But at half time at St Mary's, it's Southampton 0, Arsenal 3. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. Welcome back to St Mary's. We're going to catch up on some action now from the third round of the FA Cup. I'm just going to bring you up to date. Here's what we're going to bring you some commentary from earlier on today. But it was a match between Liverpool and Wolves. This was one of the biggest shocks of the competition, and Wolves really gave Liverpool a real footballing lesson. Let's see the best bits now from this game. Your commentator at Anfield earlier today was Martin Fisher.
Decent delivery and poor marking, and what a start for Wolves. Richard Stearman, the Wolves-born defender, nods them in front. And the 8,000 travelling fans cannot believe this. Karius left horribly exposed by his static defenders. And Liverpool's January has just got a whole lot worse. Firmino attacking the near post. It's headed away powerfully though, and Wolves will look to spring a counter here. Dicko just holding the line up top. But what a run this is. He's going to go all the way. It's a fabulous run. And Karius got a touch to it. Costa denied after carrying the ball some 60 yards. Challenge from Woodburn, just enough. Goalkeeper in the end not required. Doherty calmly done, releasing Helder Costa. Weiman's the pass to the left. He's still on, and here he is, Weiman. It's two. This is unbelievable. Andy Weiman, who's only joined the club this month on loan from Derby County until the end of the season, sends the opposite end of the ground into raptures. And Weiman kept his nerve and steers it home. Paul's looking to attack it. Gomez got his head to it first. Back in by Mason. Paul's with the flick on. Karius with the save, and the flag stayed down. Coutinho with the outswinger. It's going to drop for Sturridge, and they've got one back through Origi. Is there time for Liverpool yet? Sturridge kept it alive, and Divock Origi thumps it home at the back post. Coutinho to deliver again, and it's right the way across again. Clever shot. Oh, what a save by Burgoyne. Origi stabbed it goalwards, and the young goalkeeper got across in the nick of time. Bob Varson can head towards the corner flag. He's kept it in, and he's kept going, Bodvarsson. What a run by Bodvarsson! Oh, kept out by a combination of Lucas and Karius. All his own work. He knows he's almost home and dry now, Paul Lambert. He knows that another competition has gone down the drain for Liverpool. Again, lacklustre Liverpool right from the off. Richard Stearman putting Wolves in front inside the first minute. A lead that was doubled by Andy Weiman just before the break. Final score at Anfield after a miserable week here for Liverpool supporters. Liverpool 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2.
Yes, and a great performance there from Wolverhampton Wanderers. Terrific performance from them, and they were the first shockers. But then at Sinsel Bank, another cup shock happened. Again, we're going to join the game in the first half, and your commentator on this game is Simon Brotherton. It's for Lincoln versus Brighton.
These teams have won 14 of the last 18 they've played in all competitions, so bags of confidence in both lineups, though this is a much changed Brighton team. Ball into the area, Glenn Murray with the header, brings the early save, pushed away there by Paul Farman. Brighton putting the pressure on there with just a minute played. Solly March. Seen much of him this season, had a long time out with an knee injury. Lovely play by Solly March though. Gained a lot of ground here. Oh, it was a tremendous effort. So unlucky. Brilliant play by March. That's the closest we've come to a goal in the opening 18 minutes of the match. Murray doing his best to hold Bradley Wood at bay, and Brighton and Hove Albion are ahead. Rich Richie Towell, first time into the back of the net. It's Lincoln City 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 1. Sam Habergan with the ball in. Lampard stays on his line. It's headed away by Hunemeyer. Arnold! Pushed behind by Nicky Lampard. Good save by the Brighton keeper. Lampard keeps his eye on that one and makes the save, and the referee has given a penalty kick. Murray holding off Robinson, who then tumbles into the goalkeeper, who falls awkwardly over the top of him. But Glenn Murray, not for handball, but there for just grabbing hold of Robinson. So Brighton and Hove Albion forced to change their goalkeeper. Alan Power with the chance to draw non-league Lincoln City level in the 12th minute of the second half. 1-1, game on. Superb penalty, and Alan Power brings Lincoln City right back into this one. Hunemeyer hustled out of possession. Max Arnold with the ball at his feet. He'll love that. It's a dangerous looking ball. Oh, it's an own goal! Unbelievable! It's an own goal of the debutant, Fikayo Tomori. And they can't believe it here. And neither can the Brighton players. In the space of a few minutes, Lincoln City have turned this tie around. And an own goal separating the two teams might get worse for them here. It's Robinson, it's three, it's all over for Brighton. And Lincoln City, for the first time in 115 years, are surely through now to the last 16 in the FA Cup.
A marvellous performance there from Lincoln, knocking out Brighton and Hove Albion 3-1. But before we get back to the second half, here's how Burnley got on against Bristol City. Of course, Burnley, of course, in the claret and blue. Let's just join the game. Let's join the game with a commentary from Phil. Let's join the commentary in the first half.
The goalkeeper, and the shot goes into the goal from Sam Vokes. Bristol City lost possession, and they were punished by a Premier League side. The ball squared to Sam Vokes, and he rolled the ball into the bottom corner. And in the FA Cup fourth round, first blood to Burnley, 1-0. Jurich. Bobby Reid will not get to that layoff. So it's Joey Barton, centre circle. Arfield. They've gone left. Stephen Defoe. Defoe's on his right foot, he shoots, and it bounces wide to the goalkeeper's left. Defoe, the Belgium international, always going wide. Brownhill does throw up, he does throw the ball towards goal, and it's punched away by the keeper, so it's a free kick on target. Who's going to pick up the scraps? It's Burnley. Burnley on the counter-attack. City are going to open up here. Burnley into the penalty area. What a lovely goal. Stephen Defoe chips the ball over Fabian Giefer on the counter-attack. And with aplomb, cheekily gives Burnley a 2-0 lead, and you suggest that the Premier League side are now on their way to the 5th round of the FA Cup.
And that's how the game finished at Turf Moor, and we're almost back for second half commentary of Southampton against Arsenal. That's our match. Just to give you the other scores from earlier today. So Liverpool, Wolves, Chelsea 4, Brentford 0, Blackburn 2, Blackpool 0. These are the games we haven't featured. Palace 0, Man City 3, Middlesbrough 1, Accrington 0, Oxford 3, Newcastle 0, Rochdale 0, Huddersfield 4. And of course we'll show you what happened at the end of the game between Spurs and Wickham. But I can tell you it ended in heartbreak for Wickham. But we are now back with you live from St Mary's, and we're all set to go for the second half. I thought we'd just build a 15 minutes half time with some action, with some commentary action, and we've done just that for you. And if you check out Stephen Defoe's goal later on, please do, because I think it's worth a look. As Arsenal get us away, I don't think there's been any changes at half time, so it's as you were, so it's still the same 11s. We'll probably check the 11s for you, but it's 3-0 to Arsenal, and in layman's terms, it's been quite embarrassing. 2 goals for Danny Welbeck, who's trying to break down the left hand side, and then it's hooked away. The Southampton team are wearing the red and white stripes, the famous red and white stripes, of course, and they will wear their dark strip, I believe, at Wembley. So let's run through the Southampton team. It's Lewis in goal, Martinez, Stevens, Gardos, McQueen, Højbjerg, Reed, Classy, Sims, Long the captain, and Lloyd Isgrove. The substitutes are Taylor, Yoshida, Davis, Yazan Tadic, Romeo, Bertrand, and Nathan Redmond. Here's the Arsenal lineup with David Ospina in goals, Bellerin, Mustafi, Holding and Gibbs. Free kick, of course, to Arsenal here. You're not missing anything. Maitland-Niles, Oxlade-Chamberlain, as that free kick comes in, and that should be the goalkeepers. Rennie, Adelaide, Theo Walcott, Danny Welbeck, who's got 2 goals to add to Walcott's 1, and Perez. On the substitutes bench for Arsenal, Martinez the goalkeeper, Per Mertesacker, Gabriel, Alexis Sanchez, Alex Iwobi, Nacho Monreal, and finally Cole Jenkinson. So it's as you were, really, in terms of the 22 players that started the game at the start of the first half are going to start the second half, although some of them you get the suspicion will not finish the second half. I'm sure Claude Puel will have had a few choice words in that Southampton changing room whilst digesting what will have been a very sour half-time cup of tea from a Southampton viewpoint. And it would have been a very sweet and lovely half-time cup of PG for the Arsenal game, for Arsenal lads. And the oranges will have tasted very sweet as well. And 3 minutes into the second half, and it's Southampton 0, Arsenal 3. Danny Welbeck with 2 goals, 15 minutes and 22 minutes. 7 minutes I made it between the 2 goals, 8 minutes perhaps, 7 minutes between the 2 goals, and then 13 minutes later, Theo Walcott tripled Arsenal's lead after a comedy of errors in the Arsenal defence. And you want to see those goals and you're not watching a TV screen, it's well worth staying up and watching Match of the Day a little bit later to see what went on in the FA Cup. As Adelaide goes forward, he saw plenty of the ball in the first half. He's won a decision here against Jordi Classy. Must have been a handball here as he tries to go forward. And there might have been a bit of a shove actually, although it did look a little innocuous to me, having looked at the replay. I don't think the Southampton players did anything too shockingly wrong at all. MJH not been here for a while. How's it going, JB? Well, it's going okay at the moment, Matt. Good evening to you. The commentaries have still been going on. Check out the recent archive. We've been doing plenty of Clarets matches live and pre-recorded as well, but it's our second venture in the FA Cup. Let's just break off for a second because Welbeck, who's on the hat-trick, gets a shot in from almost 25 yards and actually gets a deflection which goes past the far post, coming off Martina last. And Arsenal now 3 goals clear, looking to kill off this cup tie once and for all. They have a corner, and Danny Welbeck, of course, just needs 1 more goal and he'll get to keep the match ball. First start since May, and it's been a successful one for Danny Welbeck, although he'll find it much more tougher against much stronger defences than the Southampton one that's been put tonight, as the corner came in and then the shot came back, and it's Maitland-Niles with the shot from about 20 yards that goes way over the Southampton crossbar, and a goal kick to the Saints. Matt also makes a point about Stephen Defoe. We showed you comments. We play commentary of the goal, but I've seen the default goal and it was amazing. I'll be surprised if that's not goal of the tournament, goal of the round. It's a bit early to say it'll be goal of the tournament, but that is a terrific chip over the Bristol City goalkeeper. And if you haven't seen it, go to BBC's website, or if you can wait till 10:30 tonight, watch Match of the Day. It's well worth staying up for. And there's some great cup action as Southampton go on the break at the other end and win themselves a corner. Shane Long working hard as ever. But it's nice to be here. It's nice to hear from you, Matt. It's been a while, but you're back with us now, and hopefully you'll keep hold with us for the rest of the season. There may have been a hint of handball there, but it was a purely accidental one. And also check out mine and Mad Claret's collaboration on his channel, Let's Talk Football, where we have all 14 episodes stored on my YouTube channel for you to watch at your viewing pleasure. I have a playlist there. Even though it's his show and he produces it, I have some input as a co-presenter, so I'm not just a commentator now, I'm a presenter, thanks to Mad Claret and the magic of Skype. 5 minutes gone in the second half, no change in the scores, still Southampton 0, Arsenal 3, but it's Chamberlain on the break here for Arsenal, trying to play a through ball towards Walcott, but well cut out this time by a Southampton defence who, let's be fair, in this first 45 minutes were at very best, at very least, shocking. Martino, however, has run a throw just inside Arsenal territory. Chamberlain, who's playing in that central defensive midfield role, has certainly rebelled in it tonight. Tell you what, if he'd have got to Walcott, I think he'd have been odds-on favourite to score his second and Arsenal's fourth. But the Southampton defender got back and did really well. But that was a lovely idea from Chamberlain, who's rebelled in this position tonight against his old side, of course. And I don't know what that next comment is proved to be. Explain yourself for that comment. But here's Danny Welbeck on the break for Arsenal. I nearly said Manchester United. And here's a chance now. Two in the middle of, and a shot coming in just on the edge of the area from Bellerin. Good work on the right hand side of Arsenal. Might have been Gomez on that far side. But they play some terrific stuff. It's Perez, sorry. Not Gomez, Perez laying it back, and then Bellerin, who's a very pacey right wing back, getting forward into a shooting position, but straining the arms of the goalkeeper, Harry Lewis, who was beaten 3 times in that first half, and he was terribly exposed in all 3 goals. As Martina crosses in from the right hand side, but again Mustafi able to get that away. No dabbing here, please. Oh dear me. The comments get better every week. We haven't heard from Bonini tonight. Maybe he's commentating on the game. I know he had one early on this afternoon. The old London affair, West London affair between Chelsea and Brentford. I think he picked the wrong game there. I think he should have picked the game between Tottenham and Wickham. 7 goals, a terrific finish. I have to say I was very, very gutted not to being able to commentate on that, because that would a game I would have loved to have relished. But we've already covered Spurs already in the FA Cup. And it is a long ball forward, and here's a chance now for Arsenal to finish it off with Walcott inside the penalty area. It's just kept his feet. He'll come back again for for Maitland-Niles, but Walcott just lost his balance at the last second inside the penalty area, and Southampton were able to clear for a throw on the far side, and it's taken quickly. Claret responds, or bottle flips for that matter. Well, we need a bit of comedy on these live streams to keep spirit and morale up, and with a game of this magnitude, it's a scoreline, and it's so embarrassingly one-sided here. I think we probably got the raw end of this Cup deal, but we might have a Super Cup tie for you tomorrow afternoon. Sutton United versus Leeds United. Leeds going so well under Gary Monk. This will be a tough test. Remember, they're playing on a 3G service tomorrow, Leeds, so this will not. They'll go there with plenty of trepidation. Of course, Sutton United will have the advantage of training and playing on it It's 3G service, so Leeds will not know what to expect. It's artificial. It's not as bad as the pitch that QPR used to have many moons ago, and Preston North End, when they used to have that horrible hockey-style AstroTurf. 3G is a lot more advanced than what AstroTurf was back in the day. As Southampton come forward looking to get one back and get themselves back into this FA Cup tie. But it comes away, and Bellerin now breaks away for Arsenal. Good tackle there. Southampton now just having a little bit more of a go of it in the second half. And they might as well here. Sims now breaks to the ball, the byline, tries to get it in towards Shane Long. Comes off the defender. It will be a corner. Better from Southampton. Might be 3-0 down, but that was a lot better from the Saints. Football is played on graft, none of this artificial rubbish. Well, it's to be fair, let's give Sutton United hope, really. You know, Leeds will not enjoy playing on the old 3G service down at Gander Green Lane tomorrow afternoon, but that's our live commentary, our live offering for you tomorrow afternoon. We usually cover the bigger teams, but it's about time we covered a little minnow like Sutton United and give them a little bit of airtime, as well as the likes of Manchester United and Arsenal, and certainly Burnley every week. But we will be back with Burnley on Tuesday night, live from Turf Moor, as they take on the current champions of the Premier League, Leicester City, who haven't won on the road this season. They didn't win again last night. They drew 2-2 with Derby and almost lost the game. Derby played magnificently well and almost came very, very close to upsetting the odds. The FA Cup always throws up a surprise or three, and there's been no surprises here at St Mary's tonight, unfortunately. And we all wanted Southampton to really give it a good go, and I'm sorry, the first half it wasn't acceptable from Claude Perel, and I'm sure you guys who have seen the footage at home will know he had a face like thunder when that half-time whistle went, and as a chance here, well, the goalkeeper and the defender almost getting in each other's way on the edge of their own penalty area for Arsenal. Going to give to Southampton away, or at least a foot on the game anyway. There's an Arsenal player gone down there. I can't tell who it is. It might be Maitland-Niles who's gone down halfway inside the Southampton half. But, it's not a head injury, so Southampton are well within their rights to play on with Long trying to get Højbjerg away down the near side. But Southampton still have it now. Chance here now for young Josh Sims, who's done really well in the last few weeks. Sims with a cross, but it's too close to David Ospina. Good crossing from the left, but again just too close to David Ospina, who are now put the ball out so an Arsenal player can receive treatment. And he only just crosses the line, in fact, and it is Maitland-Niles clashing with, might have been Højbjerg. Went down a little bit gingerly there, I have to say. Heavily, that was the word I was looking for, as we're coming up towards the hour mark. Southampton Sporting League, to the disgust of their supporters, have to give the ball back to Ospina. It's all in the aid of sportsmanship and the like, something that the FA always encourage. Not always for everybody's consumption, of course. Southampton 0, Arsenal 3, and at the moment, despite Southampton improving a little bit in the second half, I have to say it's been a bit of a one-way street for Arsenal at the moment. They have been much the better side, and I'm surprised Perel hasn't brought on any extra players. They've got the likes of Redmond and Tadic and all those type of quality players on the bench. Arsenal yet to make a change themselves, but we're coming up towards 60 minutes gone here in the third round of the FA Cup in association with Emirates. Martina trying to take a Southampton throw. I've seen no activity on the far side yet on any of the Arsenal or the Southampton benches thus far, but we can't be too far away from some alterations. offside given against, might have been Højbjerg impact. Well, we are seeing some activity, and it's Tadic who's going to come on for Southampton. So Burrell deciding to play his first joker in the pack, but remember, he needs 3 goals to force a replay, 4 to win the game outright. But the time is ticking by, and Arsenal, with each passing second, going through to the next round of the FA Cup, where they'll join the likes of Lincoln City, Tottenham, of course, Wolves, who won a tremendous battle at Liverpool earlier today, Oxford United, of course, and of course Burnley, of course, in the next round. Blackburn are there as well. There could be a possibility of maybe both Blackburn and Burnley drawing each other in the next round of the Cup. And for, well, my brother was discussing that possibility about an hour or so ago before the game kicked off here, off air. But if we got a derby like that, it's surely got to be televised, and would bring it to you here on this YouTube channel, but absolutely sure. It would be quite Burnley biased, the commentary, though, I would say. There's nothing biased about this game. Only been one winner at the moment. Southampton just playing around with the possession. Played 61 and a bit minutes, and still 3-0 to Arsenal. No change in the scores, however, and Tadic is still waiting to come on over on the far side, as Southampton now trying to make something of it, or trying to slip through to Shane Long, but again, there's just too many yellow-shirted Arsenal defenders back there to for him to thread it through, and Arsenal were able to get it away. Here's Danny Welbeck at the other end. Here's Perez back in towards Welbeck on the hat-trick. Danny Welbeck, and it's knocked away by the Saints. On ball up towards Long on the near side. Out comes David Ospina, sweeper keeper. Did pretty well, actually, to be fair. Found Maitland-Niles no trouble at all. And it's not going to get any easier for old Southampton now. I'm just seeing on the far side Alexis Sanchez about to come on. It would be no worse than the Burnley website's current commentator. He's referring to Claret's player Phil Baird. He is a bit of a legend, though, to be fair, Phil Baird, although he is a little bit OTT when it comes to the commentary, but he's a bit of a cult legend in those parts, it's got to be said. And he comes up with more obscure facts about Burnley Football Club than I think any mainstream commentator we know of. There is one stat he absolutely stuffed me in, that Peter Noble was the last top-flight hat-trick scorer for Burnley back in the 70s. And here's Gibbs now running towards the penalty area from the left-hand side. It's a poor ball, and these are cut out by the Southampton defence, who have been a lot more sturdier than what they were in the first half. But they haven't really needed to be as sturdy, because they're 3-0 down, and have been totally outclassed in our first half, which was so one-sided. It was almost embarrassing for the Southampton fans, who were paid very good money to turn up and support their team tonight. It's a sellout crowd here. Plenty of Arsenal fans who have made the short trip down the M3 from London today. But there's going to be a double substitution. Isgrove is going to be replaced by Dusan Tadic. Alexis Sanchez in the background waiting to come up for Arsenal, and Nathan Redmond as well is going to enter the fray, and he's surprisingly replaced his Shane Long. So it looks as if Tadic will go forward and Redmond will play on the wing, and Alexis Sanchez will come on as well. So there are the Southampton changes. Isgrove replaced by Tadic, and Redmond replaced Long. Redmond about to come on. Arsenal now about to make their substitution. As I said, Alexis Sanchez is the Chilean international, who had a super game at the Emirates last week. Scored a cheeky penalty to defeat Burnley in that controversial manner. Danny Welbeck is getting a good standing ovation. 2 goals for him. Good day for the office for him, but there's plenty of tougher days ahead for the returning Arsenal striker. And Sanchez now will try and run the show for the next 25 minutes plus stoppage time, which remains of this 4th round cup tie, and that's what we've got left, and there's no extra time or penalties in the FA Cup, certainly up until the quarter-finals, and then it has to be decided on the day. So they're doing away with replays from the quarter-finals onwards. Whether it's a good thing or a bad thing to do to get rid of the replays in the quarter-finals, well, we'll just have to wait and see. But replays will still be used in this round and the 5th round. So rounds 1 to 5, replays will be required in the FA Cup. But I don't think there's much danger of this one going to a replay, because it's Southampton 0, Arsenal 3. Of course, there's 4 more games to come tomorrow in chronological order. We've got Millwall, they're the lunchtime game, and they're playing Watford. It'll be a tricky little trip down to the Isle of Dogs for Watford, and the new den, when it's full and packed and as an atmosphere, that should be a cracker. And of course there's Hull's trip to Fulham as well, taking place around the same time, and then our match from Gander Green Lane as Sutton take on Leeds, and then the cup holders against the 2013 winners, Wigan Athletic. And Warren Joyce going back to his old club as Jordi Class. He tries a shot from about 25 yards over the top of the crossbar, and the goal kick to Arsenal. And Matt Claret wants us a bit of trivia. Well, why don't we have a little bit of trivia whilst there's a break in play? Yeah, I think that'll delay a few moments or two of the time as we just see Jordi Class there. He got into a good position, but it just sums up Southampton's evening in a nutshell, quite frankly, and that's a shame, really. David Ospina really hasn't had too much to do. What's up the Sutton Leeds game will be a lot more dramatic than what we've seen here, or you've heard here at St Mary's. It looked a really interesting cup tie on the surface, but unfortunately for us, it's not been the humdinger we thought it might be. Myself and Matt Claret decided to go for a Southampton victory because Arsenal struggles recently, and of course they struggled against Preston in the previous round when Preston should have been 3 up, maybe 2 or 3 up before the break in that one, and then obviously Arsenal came back from the dead and scored 2 goals in the second half, which won them the game. But Preston were very unlucky not to at least force a replay that night at Deepdale. Southampton have just run into a real juggernaut here tonight, but Perel, who made 10 changes thinking that this was still going to be a winnable game, well, I think he thought wrong. But the season far from over. Oh, that backpack was a bad pack pass that nearly sold Ospina down the river, and Redmond almost got on the end of that. I'll tell you what, if I'd have been taken then, I think Southampton might have still had half a sniff, but it's Arsenal at the other end with Chamberlain. Sanchez will keep it in at the byline, pulls the ball back, and Walcott taps it into the far corner of the net. And when Southampton could have easily scored from a bad back pass at the other end, David Ospina survives the scare and then gets Arsenal moving. Lovely play initially from Oxlade-Chamberlain, got it through to Sanchez down the right hand side, cut towards the byline. He pulled the ball back, and in the end Phil Walcott, unmarked, found the far corner of the net, the left hand side of the goal. And that's now with 22 minutes of this game still to go, which means Arsenal now will take their place on Monday evening's 4th round draw, where they'll join the likes of Oxford United, Lincoln City, Tottenham, Burnley, Blackburn, Wolverhampton Wanderers, amongst other teams in the last 16 of the FA Cup. Middlesbrough in that draw as well. Accrington's so unlucky to lose to a Stuart Downing strike earlier on at the Riverside Stadium. And it's been a disappointing tie really from a mutual point of view, but Arsenal playing some extraordinary good stuff now. And here's Sanchez through in the middle. Sanchez into the penalty area. He's got Chamberlain in the middle. Sanchez tries to go alone and they try to play the ball back for Kieran Gibbs. And here is the question that Matt Claret has got. Who's the only player to have scored a whole hat-trick in all four tiers of professional football in England, the FA Cup, the League Cup and at international level? There we are. There's one to throw back at you listeners. Who is the only player to have scored a hat-trick in all four professional leagues of English football, the FA Cup, the Capital One competition, or the EFL Cup it's called now, and at international level? I wouldn't know from Adam. That's why I'm going to throw it back to you listeners. As Southampton have a set piece on the far side. It's headed away though by Arsenal, deep inside their own penalty area, and it's hooked away to halfway where Jordi Clasie can pick the ball up now, and there he is now, chipping it forward up towards Redmond. Redmond can't get there. He might have been a touch offside perhaps, but the referee allowing it to go on. Redmond has it on the far side. Redmond now running at the defence, gets to the byline. Can he hook the ball back across the goal? No. Kieran Gibbs is there to nod away, and then a shot back in from Jordi Clasie, high, wide, not so handsome, and it's not looking very handsome, I'm afraid, for Southampton, who are going out of this season's FA Cup with a real whimper. He's had a decent game, the man who's just coming off Adelaide, and there is the answer. Robert Earnshaw, of course, former Cardiff City player, played for many different league clubs. I remember him breaking under the scene as a youngster at Cardiff City many moons ago, and of course he was a Welsh international for many years standing. Alex Iwobi has come on for Arsenal as we now go into the closing stages of this cup tie. 18 minutes plus stoppage time to run here, and well, it's been we've had a remarkable day's football up and down the country. Wolves through, Lincoln through, Burnley through, Chelsea through, Manchester City through, Blackburn through, Middlesbrough through, Oxford through, Huddersfield through, Tottenham through, only just. And of course now their North London neighbours will join them. And of course Derby and Leicester are in the draw, although they will have to replay in around 10 days time from now. And McCoy has now got a Burnley trivia question now in these... I'm sure he'll be eagerly to ask that with real relish. As Southampton come forward now with Josh Sims. Sims now tries to take on the defender, and that will go for... I think it might be a goal kick, or is it a corner? No, they're lining up for a corner, so it's a corner to Southampton. Which two former Premier League champions wore the number 33? Which two former Premier League champions wore the number 33 for Burnley? Well, Chris Eagles I think was one. I don't know the other one. We'll throw it out to all the listeners. I'm certain Chris Eagles wore number 33. Who else wore number 33 for Burnley? Let me know in the comments. And Mike Clark will give us the answer as Jordi Clasie tries a shot from outside the area. Still a chance here for Southampton. And again, Gibbs blocks the second effort, and Arsenal can scramble away through Alexis Sanchez, and he's brought down, and referee Kevin Friend decides that Jordi Clasie was the culprit. And he was. And a free kick down to Arsenal, and again they'll just wind the clock down. We're coming up towards 74 minutes gone. Southampton 0, Arsenal 4. And here's a chance now for Southampton inside the penalty area, but well defended by Gibbs, and then he almost put his goalkeeper in a bit of trouble here. We're having a little bit of excitement, even though that Arsenal are still cruising through, but making it difficult for themselves in the last sort of 5 or 10 minutes, playing ridiculous back passes. It's almost putting David Ospina in trouble. It's lucky that Theo Walcott and Danny Welbeck have scored 2 goals each, because I tell you what, if it had been at 0-0, I think it would have been a little bit more nerve-wracking, but they have been dominant, Arsenal, although they haven't been at the sparkling best in the second half, and have played one or two careless back passes which could have resulted in a red face for their goalkeeper, David Ospina. That's gone out of play, midway inside the Arsenal half for a throw to Southampton. That's to Shan Tadic. The answers were, well, Chris Eagles was one, I got that one right. We got a few moments to answer if you're listening. Who wore, as well as Chris Eagles, the number 33 for Burnley? Ian Wright. It shows how old I am. The memory is not quite what it used to be. But here comes Southampton now looking for something back. Tadic can't turn. Again, good defence by Arsenal. And again, just Welbeck breaking forward then for a second or two. It's back with Southampton once again. Tadic again, midway inside Arsenal's territory. Now the chances here for Southampton. Shot comes in from about 20 yards and it's gone wide from McQueen, and it's a goal kick to Arsenal. Hit it with his left foot and wasn't troubling David Ospina unduly. And a goal kick it is to Arsenal. As I say, we'll be back tomorrow evening or tomorrow afternoon as Sutton United, Gander Green Lane, scene of a big cup upset back in 1989. Tony Raines and Matthew Hanlon were the scorers, and the Coventry goal scorer that day, David Phillips. And most of the side that played for Coventry that afternoon in January 1989 were actually members of the FA Cup winning squad 2 years previously when they beat Tottenham in one of the great finals of all time, the 87 final. Gary Mabbott scoring the Coventry winner, own goal. Here's Southampton, the 1976 winners. Look like they're going to drop out at the fourth round stage in 2017. And they're in with a shout to winning a major prize still this season in the Capital One final, which takes place in just under a month's time, on my birthday in fact, February the 26th, at Wembley Stadium against Jose Mourinho's Manchester United, who made heavy weather a couple of nights ago against Hull City at the KCOM Stadium. 13 and a half minutes to play, and it's 4-0 to Arsenal, who are looking rampant, although they know they're going to be through unless they have a real defensive lapse in concentration for the next 13 minutes and ship 4 goals in as many minutes. In reality, on paper, it's highly unlikely to happen. The odds of that are probably 1,000,000 to 1. But Arsenal sailing through. And this is probably Arsene Wenger's best chance maybe of winning a major piece of silverware. They're out of the League Cup. They're still in the Champions League, but they've got a stinking draw against Bayern Munich in the last 16. As Arsenal come forward with Chamberlain, he's had a good game, even though he hasn't scored tonight. He's done pretty well. I'll chip forward now as Sanchez concedes a goal kick by the byline. But Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain has been really good as well tonight. Right, well, we've got about 12 minutes to go. Anybody who's listening right now, you can vote for the Man of the Match award. The JB Man of the Match is back, and you're going to vote for it now. So get your votes in, and I'll announce the winner around about the 90th minute mark. Danny Welbeck and Bill Walcott, I'm sure, will be contenders for that particular award. So get your votes in, and whoever has the most votes come the 90th minute will be declared my man of the YouTube channel's Man of the Match. But here comes Southampton with Tadic at the other end. Here's Redmond laying it back, as Josh Shims just losing out there at the last second, and that's been the story really, Southampton's night. I don't think 10 changes was the right thing for Claude Puel to do. He's shown Arsenal far too much respect. Should have done what he did against Liverpool, I think, the other night, and showed them no respect. And like if Fraser Forster had been in goals, I think the scoreline would have been a much more different outcome. But it's hindsight's a wonderful thing after the event. But Southampton's season's far from finished. They're still in a good position in the Premier League. They're in a cup final at Wembley on the 26th of February, as I say, against Manchester United in the EFL Cup. It'll be the first time these two particular clubs have met in a major final since May 1976, of course, when Southampton beat Manchester United in the FA Cup final. Bobby Stokes, the late great Bobby Stokes, with the winning goal 6 minutes from the end of the second half, winning Southampton the cup. They were then a second division team under the great Laurie McMenemy. Southampton had the likes of Mick Channon, Bobby Stokes, Nick Holmes, David Peach, Peter Osgood, of course. He was a Chelsea legend, but he was a Southampton legend as well for that cup win as well. 2 cup winners medals he won. And Southampton keep possession now on the near side. Tadic back to Eadsgrove. Now a chance here for Martina to make a break. Tadic might get a second goal. Tries the shot. It was a half-hearted shot that was charged down. Or into the 81st minute of the game. We've played 81 and a bit minutes and still 3-0 as Højbjerg now runs forward for Southampton. 4-0 down. Looking for one, at least for one, maybe two back to add a bit of respectability. There's no way in the world must Arsenal have a real mega power nap and let them in for 4 goals. I can't see that happening now. Arsenal as good as through to the next round of the FA Cup, and the draw for that incidentally will take place on Monday night around about 7:15 PM. And of course we'll be back with the Clarets Match Live, our first proper Clarets Match Live of the new year, and what a game that's going to be between Burnley and the current Premier League champions Leicester City. You'll be able to hear that from 7:30. Plus it's also on the same day the January transfer window, so before kick-off we'll keep you up to date what's been the movers and shakers in the Premier League and around Europe. And then from 7:45 full match commentary of Burnley v Leicester, plus updates of another 4 or 5 Premier League games, including amongst others Chelsea's trip to Anfield to play Liverpool, which is a very big game now for Liverpool. Chelsea will be going there to hoping to inflict a 4th successive home defeat on Liverpool. They lost last week to Swansea in a real thrilling 3-2 match in the Premier League. Then they lost, of course, to Southampton in the EFL semi-finals. They lost 2-0 on aggregate, by the way, because Southampton won at St Mary's 1-0. And now lost this early on today to Wolverhampton Wanderers, which wasn't a real choker for them. And now all they've got is to try and get into the top 4. They realistically now can't win any silverware this season, Jurgen Klopp's men. But, it's not the end of the season for Southampton. They've got that cup final to come on at the end of next month, and plenty of time in which to get prepared for it now, because apart from that cup final, they'll have league football now from now to the end of the season. And they'll have more chance to rest than Manchester United will. Here's McQueen now for Southampton in towards Redmond's path. Redmond just pirouettes, tries to get the ball towards Tadic. Nearly found Eadsgrove. And a long ball forward, and here's Sanchez on the break. He's against 2 Southampton defenders here. And Sanchez now towards the penalty area, and there's a chance for Chamberlain, who shoots with his right foot. And in fact he's not, it's Phil Walcott, he gets the hat-trick. Phil Walcott gets the hat-trick. And it's going to be Phil Walcott who gets the match ball. And with 5 minutes to go, it's Phil Walcott. I called it wrong initially, but well, it's been a terrible night. Southampton understandably having to throw men forward. A lovely ball down towards Sanchez. The ball He waited and waited. He saw Walcott there, and Walcott loves this FA Cup competition and scores an remarkable hat-trick, and it's coming against his old side. And well, that just sums it up now. That's his 5th hat-trick in his Arsenal career, which has stretched back, of course, to 2006-07, into his 10th year at the club. And there it is, confirmation. Southampton 0, Arsenal 5. It's been a 5-star Arsenal performance. You have to, if you've been rating them out of 5, you'd have to give them 5 for the way they've attacked Southampton. If you were Southampton, you'd probably give them -5, or even worse, -10 for the way they've played. They've been a little bit more better second half, but even so, they've just been caught on the break. They've got a free kick here now. Højbjerg was tripped there by Holding. Southampton fans, understandably now, know that they knew that the game was up at half time. Have stayed for as long as they can, and a lot of them now making for the exits and to beat the traffic back home. Of course, Southampton is a lovely place on the south coast, but it's not going to be such a lovely place. But Arsenal have come down the N3, have seen and conquered Southampton here at St Mary's tonight. Here's Tadic now for Southampton. They're still not giving up. That's a testament to themselves, but there was that poor first half display has just given them too much to do. Shot coming in from about 25 yards out. It was from Josh Shims. Southampton want a corner, but Ospina obviously kept that in play. I don't think it would have made any difference anyway, even if they had got the corner, Southampton. Here's Sanchez now on the break for Arsenal. 5-0 ahead, and with just 4 and a bit minutes to go, I'm certain that Claude Puel and the Southampton fans will just want to see as little time added on as possible. Just a minute or two would be enough for them just to see it out and then just end the misery really, and look forward to much more future challenges. They have a league match in midweek, and then it's just about getting to 40 points for them, making sure that they're going to stay in the Premier League for another season, and then it's all about Wembley on the 26th of February for them. Hopefully we'll have that final in full for you on the JB Claret YouTube channel, neither in live or delayed mode. We'll have the League Cup final for you, all commentary, enable live or delayed. But Southampton do get a corner here. Arsene Wenger has decided to make his way down to the changing rooms. 4-0, and surely now it's all over. By the shouting now, it's all about seeing this game out for Arsenal. Liverpool, Chelsea, as I say, we'll keep you updated, and our main event from on Tuesday night will be Burnley versus Leicester from Turf Moor, plus updates from Liverpool against Chelsea, of course. 3 or 4 other games taking place that same night, and there'll be plenty more live football. And of course tomorrow we've got Sutton versus Leeds. Here's a chance now for Arsenal. Could it be 6 now? It's Perez. Good save by the goalkeeper. Let's give goalkeeper Harry Lewis a little bit of credit there. He made a marvellous save. It could have easily been 6. Should have been 6 there for Arsenal. And well, goalkeeper Lewis, Harry Lewis, made a marvellous save there. Perez should have made it 6. Sanchez now tries to play 1-2. Sanchez inside the penalty area. Loses control of the ball, and that'll break kindly for Lewis. Last minute of normal time now, and then hopefully not too much stoppage time certainly from Southampton's point of view. They'll just be glad to get this game over, out the way, and concentrate their efforts. First of all, staying in the Premier League, and then making an attempt to prepare well for what could be a cracking League Cup final in a month's time against Manchester United at Wembley Stadium. And I'm going to give the Man of the Match award to Theo Walcott. Hat-trick. I think it was a no-brainer, really, to be honest. It would be amazing to see what the TV guys give as we see the ball forward. There was no doubt he was onside there, Perez. But to be fair to goalkeeper Lewis, he stood big, made himself very difficult to beat. And that was a really good save. So we're now into time added on at the end. Yes, just the 2 added minutes, as I suspected from the fourth official. I didn't think there was going to be too much stuff this time. There's not really been that much, really, in the terms of real stoppages, real incidents there. The old quick injury here or there that's been healed by the old magic sponge, so to speak. But nothing too significant. There's Arsenal now break on the far side. Deep cross towards the back stick. Gibbs will keep that in. And you'll find Alexis Sanchez here. Gibbs has won it back. Illegally, says the referee. I don't think there's any cause for Arsenal to argue because they're safely through. Home and hosed 5-0. And they've put on a truly professional side. They've really put out a real sign, to a message to all the other FA Cup winners today that they mean business in this competition. And I don't think anyone can argue with 5-0 at the end of the day. Steve Bold taking charge on the touchline tonight. Well, he's done a good job. We're now 20 seconds into the second minute, and then it'll be a quick wrap up. Just before we leave you tonight, we'll bring you a bit of reaction, of course, from one or two of the Arsenal protagonists, and then of course we'll give you commentary of what happened at White Hart Lane earlier today between Tottenham and Wycombe before we leave you this evening here on the JB Claret YouTube channel. Southampton now making one last canter forward. Can they try and get a consolation goal, make the scoreline just a tad respectable? No, referee friend blows for time. And there we go, Arsenal safely through to the next round of the Emirates FA Cup, and it was an easy game for them, really, in truth. Theo Walcott with a hat-trick, 2 goals for Danny Welbeck. Chamberlain had a good match in midfield, in a very unorthodox position for him in the central defensive midfield. But it's Arsene Wenger's men who are safely through to the last 16 of the FA Cup. Theo Walcott will keep the match ball. He'll get the match ball from Kevin Friend, the referee. There was no real bad decisions for Kevin Friend to make. There was no controversy. Unfortunately for our game, all this cup excitement, we had to pick the most one-sided cup tie out of the lot. But we do have another one for you tomorrow night, or tomorrow afternoon rather. Sutton United at Gander Green Lane on the 3G surface take on Gary Monk's high-flying championship side Leeds United, and we'll have full match commentary of that, and plus we'll keep you updated with what has been happening between Millwall and Watford in the early kickoff, and of course Fulham versus Hull City, who have now lost Robert Snodgrass to West Ham, much to a certain Claret's annoyance. Well, it's been a great night for Danny Welbeck, an even better night for Theo Walcott back at his old club. He keeps the match board on. Welbeck will probably understandably feel aggrieved. He was on a hat-trick. Wenger took him off, but you bear in mind that Welbeck has come back from a serious injury. It's understandable why Wenger took him off at the time he did. It's a bad one for Claude Puel, but they will go back to the drawing board. Southampton, their season is far from over. They should have enough to get to 40 points as quickly as possible, and then it's all about Wembley in a month's time for the League Cup final against Manchester United, who coincidentally play tomorrow at Wigan in the FA Cup. But really, it was an embarrassment for Southampton right from the first whistle. 15 minutes it took for Arsenal to get the breakthrough. Welbeck, and then he made it 2 on the 22nd minute. And Walcott 10 minutes before the break, and then 2 extra goals in the second half really put Southampton to the sword. And the Walcott getting a standing ovation. There's been about 4,500 Arsenal fans who have journeyed down the M3 to Southampton today, and there's a few Southampton supporters who have applauded them off the field. But I'm afraid to say it was the biggest one-sided cup tie of the weekend, and it was a real shame really that the game had to really end that way. So, as I say, tomorrow we've got Sutton United at home to Leeds United, and what a game that promises to be from Gander Green Lane. And of course, we'll bring you, before we finish here tonight, we'll try and bring you a couple of interviews. We'll try and bring you a couple of interviews as well, plus some action, some commentary from earlier today as Tottenham. We've already heard commentary from Liverpool, from Burnley, and from Lincoln City, from those 3 games. In a moment or two, we will bring you commentary from earlier on today at White Hart Lane, and what a game that proved to be. A 7-goal thriller. The league toed and fro for so many times. It could have gone either way. In fact, I think they're going to go for a quick ad break on the TV, which gives us a chance then to look at I was just seeing Arsene Wenger there applauding his team off. The ground is totally emptied now, and in fact we will go through earlier on today then to White Hart Lane, because Tottenham here on paper had a very winnable, a very easy tie against Wycombe Wanderers, and unfortunately for the men from White Hart Lane, it turned out to be anything but. We join the action in the first half. Your commentator on this one, the commentator you'll hear from here, is John Roeder.
Everybody back for Tottenham. Vaughan came for it, didn't get there. Comes for Hayes! Pandemonium and bedlam at one end of White Hart Lane. It's his 6th goal of the season, but the others will all pale into insignificance compared to this. Look at how much space he has. It drops nicely, and how about that for a finish? Little header forward from O'Neill. Back in Fenway. And through goes Wood. He's got Hayes in the middle. Wood. Down under the challenge of Carter Vickers, and it's a penalty. Cameron Carter-Vickers gives away a spot kick. Hayes makes it 2. A double for Paul Hayes, and 2 for Wycombe Wanderers. Hayes couldn't get there. Son tries it across and in. Got a slight deflection, but John Min Son will claim that. Son's ball in, and there was a little touch of Jacobson that diverted the ball away from Blackman. Jansen on the chase. Kier with a body check, penalty kick. The run there of Vincent Janssen. It's a penalty all day long. Janssen up against Jamal Blackman, who's saved 4 penalties already this season, and he couldn't quite get to that. Tottenham have turned this match around. Supporters no doubt anxiously looking at their watches every so often just to see how long is left. Lovely touch though on that far side. Weston with the ball in, and it's headed in by the substitute Gary Thompson. Wycombe are back in front again. Gary Thompson, the 36-year-old, he's only been on the pitch a few minutes. You can see him calling for the ball in the penalty area, and how about that for a header? Power and direction. Puts it past Michel Vaughan for a 3rd Wycombe goal. Chance here though for Dele Alli. He's got Janssen inside. Dele Alli, 3-3. And Tottenham have rescued it. Blackman's clearance was a poor one. The header, Ellie, who still had plenty to do, but did it superbly.
After 88 minutes and 13 seconds from number 20, Dele Alli. Son. Son gets the return ball and diverted into his own net. Heung-min Son has got the winner for Tottenham with just seconds left at White Hart Lane. It is so cruel on Wycombe Wanderers. Jacobson with the final touch, but Son will be claiming it.
Real heartbreak there for Wycombe, as they led twice in that game. They went 2-0 up and then went 3-2 going into stoppage time. Gary Thompson scoring that third goal, and it was a real shame that it ended up being that way. A real dagger to the heart. But Tottenham will realise that they have been in a really tough situation here today, and they were very, very lucky. They were very comfortable in the last round that we covered against Aston Villa, and I'm afraid to say they were anything but comfortable today. They should have really gone out today, but they're still in the FA Cup. They're in the draw on Monday, and there we are. That's the way it's gone. So let's just recap the other scores for you. Liverpool 1, Wolves 2. Of course, last night Derby and Leicester drew 2-2, so they've got to go all again. No replays required in any of these games today, by the way. Lincoln 3, Brighton 1, Burnley 2, Bristol City 0. Chelsea beaten Brentford in the West London Derby by 4 goals to 0. That was a game that Panini covered. Crystal Palace 0, Man City 3. Blackburn 2, Blackpool 0. A bit of protest going on against the owners of both Blackburn and Blackpool. Middlesbrough beat Plucky Atkinson by a goal to 0. Stuart Downing with a winner there. Oxford through to the next round against a sorry Newcastle, who missed a penalty and lost 3-0 to Oxford. A long trip back up with a true Geordie and his Toon Army, and Rafa Benitez as well. Rochdale beaten quite comfortably by Huddersfield, who are going terrifically well in the Championship, 4 goals to 0. It looks as if David Wagner's side could be dark horses as well to do well in the next round of the Cup as well, depending on who you get. Tottenham 4, Wycombe 3, you've just heard, and as you've just heard live on my channel tonight, it's been a really sad night for Southampton. Not just beaten, but humiliated 5-0 by Arsenal. Theo Walcott with a hat-trick, and here he is now talking to the TB guys.
The block's running and obviously he's come back with an absolute back on the pitch. But then again it's a clean sheet, which we always aim for in any game, but it's nice that we create a lot of chances and took them away today.
And you've got the match ball tucked under your arm, your old stomping ground here. A little bit of payback.
I wouldn't say it's payback at all. I think it's been so long now. Obviously, I've had some great memories there, and Southampton will be in my heart without a doubt. Enjoyed playing football here at the time, and obviously I enjoyed tonight. And the guys did a fantastic game today. But Southampton are a strong team. They're obviously going to do very well in that cup competition. I'll be cheering them on in the final, and they're obviously very solid in the Premier League. But going back to us, a lot of changes today the manager made. Obviously, what's been happening, behind closed doors, it's just the way it is. But as players, we've managed just to do the talking on the pitch.
Theo mentioned Danny, first start of the season went pretty well, I thought. What did you think?
Yeah, it was obviously good to be back out on the pitch after such a long time out. It's been a horrible few months, as you can put it, and obviously with the injury before. But it was great to be back out there, scoring goals and doing what I love doing.
And there were 2 fantastic goals as well. So during those months and weeks of rehab, training alone, physio work, so these are the kind of moments you think of that they what keep you going.
Yeah, definitely, and I think because I had the experience before of coming back from an injury, you kind of know what to expect, even though it's tough times, but the end game is to be back out on the pitch and playing in the first team, and I got that opportunity today, and I'm just looking forward to doing it many more times.
Is it odd to look across the aisle and not see the manager on the touchline? It's kind of an institution. He's a fixture there.
Do you know what? We're on the pitch. We just try and do a job. When things are going well, it's great, obviously. But it's obviously important for the manager to be there. But he's in the dressing room, telling us what to do before and after the game. So during half time, But we know our jobs, and we've been in the game for a long time. We have so much experience in this team, so we know what to do. And we want to get the win today, and we did that.
And you're in Monday, so congratulations, gentlemen. Well played.
Cheers.
Yes, Danny Welbeck was there as well as Peter Walcott, and he was talking, of course, with Des Kelly. We are live now, but we are about to end, I'm afraid. We are about to end now. but you will be able to hear the commentary back here, because these commentary streams are uploaded to my YouTube channel. So if you want to listen again, and Dr. Edward Richoffen or whoever you are, you can listen back on my YouTube channel, and please subscribe. But thank you very much for listening in. So the story in our live game: Southampton 0, Arsenal 5. 5-star performance from Arsenal, 2 goals for Danny Welbeck and a hat-trick for Theo Walcott. And elsewhere in the cup today, Wolves through Liverpool, Lincoln beating Brighton, the Clarets, my beloved Burnley beating Bristol City quite comfortably, and Stephen Defoe with one of the goals of the day. Chelsea through against Brentford, Man City through against Crystal Palace, and Oxford beating Newcastle. And little old Wickham under Gareth Ainsworth came so close to knocking out Tottenham, and sadly ended up losing 4-3. Late heartbreak for Wickham. But the day that belongs to Wolves, Lincoln most notably, and Oxford United. The third round of the FA Cup back and alive and kicking, plenty of shocks and plenty of real action. And we'll be back tomorrow afternoon to see if Sutton United, the other non-league team left in the FA Cup, can give another non-league team a place in the last 16. They take on Leeds United at Gander Green Lane. Join us tomorrow afternoon and around about tomorrow lunchtime to see whether they can do it or not. But for me, JB, thank you very much for listening into the broadcast tonight. We'll see you tomorrow for the Sutton United Leeds game. But for now, take care and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good evening. Bye bye.